Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to give you guys my thoughts on the latest chapter of the Dragon Ball Super manga, Dragon Ball Super Chapter 73, Goku versus Granolah. Now, there really isn't all that much going on in this chapter except the fight between Goku and Granolah. Now, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on the overall fight, and then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on what I think might happen moving forward based on where this chapter ended. So, first thing I want to talk about. Now, there are things that I liked and disliked in this fight between Goku and Granolah. I'm going to talk about the things that I liked, and the first thing that I want to talk about also has to do with the overall chapter in itself, and that's the artwork. Now, I talked about this in the videos that I do where I covered the spoilers that were released about this chapter, and that is the fact that the artwork looks amazing, and that is critical whenever you have this big fight going on between two characters. And one thing I will say is that Toyotaro nailed the artwork in this fight. In this chapter, excuse me. This fight looked amazing. The way it was drawn, the way it was choreographed, it looks absolutely amazing. And I have no doubt that whenever this fight's animated, I'm hoping that they're gonna get some of their best animators to work on this because based on just how it was drawn, I'm expecting it to look absolutely beautiful whenever it gets to this, especially since we kind of have confirmation or someone behind the scenes kind of confirmed that the anime is going to come back. I think it's supposed to come back sometime next year. Let's hope that that's the case because I know a lot of people are really looking forward to the Dragon Ball Super anime, and of course, you can bet that I'm going to cover it here on my channel. So, let's talk about the actual fight in itself. So, the way the fight starts is you can see Granolah has the upper hand, at least for a little bit. But then Goku goes into blue with Ultra Instinct properties stacked on top of it. Now, I have to be honest, I thought that Granolah was kind of already fighting blue with Ultra Instinct stacked on top of it, but it turns out he was just fighting Goku in his blue form without the Ultra Instinct stacked on top of it because he adds the Ultra Instinct properties to Super Saiyan Blue in the beginning of this chapter, and it seems like it is starting to push Granolah, but as we find out later in the chapter, it's not really what it seems. Like there's more to this. We'll get to it. But then Granolah, interestingly enough, uses a technique that Goku says is similar to what Moro used. And to me, I do find this interesting because, and I said this before in the previous videos that I did where I talked about this chapter, where I covered the spoilers, it's interesting that Granolah is using a lot of techniques that seem similar to techniques that we've already seen other characters utilize. Like, for example, right now, he just used a technique that Goku said is a lot like Moro's. In the previous chapter, he used a technique that looked a lot like the Hakai. So again, I'm wondering, like, how powerful did the dragon make him? Well, this chapter did give us an idea, and again, we'll get to it. But Goku then goes into Mastered Ultra Instinct. And when it comes to his conversation with Vegeta, don't worry, we'll get to it. He goes into Mastered Ultra Instinct and then starts to fight Granolah. And this is where Goku just completely takes over the fight. He just starts destroying him. Like Granolah has no chance against him. But Goku, in typical Goku fashion, starts telling him, like, listen, and again, this is based off the conversation that he had with Vegeta, talking about how it seems like they might have been tricked. He tries to talk to him, of course, that's Goku, but Granolah tells him that, listen, I don't think I ever told you that I lost. I don't think I ever admitted that. He just admitted that he underestimated how strong the Saiyans were. And we end up finding out that the Granolah that they've been fighting all this time, the Granolah that managed to knock out Goku twice, was just a clone. Granolah reveals that he took power from his body and then split it and created a clone of him. And that's the Granolah that we've been seeing. That's the Granolah that Goku and Vegeta have been fighting. And Vegeta tries to warn Goku, but Granolah, now that he's basically, I guess you could say, called back the clone, and now he has all that power back into the original body, apparently this Granolah is so strong, he was actually able to knock Goku from Mastered UI back to base. Now, granted, to be fair, he did hit a vital point, which does add to it, but still, the fact that he was strong enough to do that shows you just how impressive Granolah actually is. If he was able to knock Goku from Mastered UI down to base, dude, even Jiren wasn't able to do this. And it is insane. Now, there's something did get revealed right before this happened that I honestly just, I kind of don't like this because it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So it's revealed before before Granolah knocks out Goku and he shows up in his mastered UI form, he reveals to Granolah that I can't stay in this form for too long. And he talks to him about how he just reveals that he can't stay in this form too long, which does kind of make sense because it was revealed that being an Ultra Instinct does drain his stamina. Okay, that's fine. But one thing that they also revealed in this chapter that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense is that apparently the longer Goku stays in Ultra Instinct or Mastered Ultra Instinct or Silver Haired UI, his accuracy when it comes to Mastery of Self-Movement gets slower over time. Now see, that to me doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because we never saw this before. We didn't see it in the fight with Moro, and we especially didn't see it in the fight with Jiren. In fact, if you go back and you watch the fight, I think it's stated by a bunch of the commentators, especially Whis, that Goku's accuracy with Ultra Instinct is actually increasing the more he uses it. And yet now in this chapter, we're supposed to believe that the longer he stays in Silver Haired UI, his accuracy when it comes to Mastery of Self-Movement gets slower over time. That makes no goddamn sense. See, if that was the case, then his fight with Jiren, considering how long it went on, Jiren would have won. Like, eventually, Goku, like, why didn't anyone else state that, or someone else made the statement that, hey, something weird is going on. And then Whis states that his accuracy with self-movement is starting to get slower and slower over time because Goku still doesn't have full mastery over the technique, which doesn't really make any sense because Silver Haired UI is supposed to be it. Like, it's supposed to be like he has mastery of self-movement. Now, yes, someone did state in the comments of one of my previous videos that Goku's control, his mastery over Ultra Instincts isn't as good or as refined as the Angels. Okay, fine. But that still doesn't make sense as to how it gets slower over time. See, I don't like this. I don't like this because to me, again, it's similar to, interestingly enough, what's going on in the Boruto story. It's the authors realizing that they made certain characters too strong, and because of that, they ended up writing themselves into a corner, and now they have to purposefully nerf characters in order for the story they want to happen. And I don't like that. That is a sign of bad writing. That is just plain bad writing. I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says. This is bad writing. The author purposefully weakening characters just so the story they want to happen could happen is bad writing. So those are just my thoughts on that little statement that was made. Now, Granolah ends up knocking out Goku. So Goku loses this fight, and again, I don't have a problem with that. And I think a lot of people, if you've been fans for Dragon Ball for a while, you should probably you're probably used to Goku losing. This is probably not new. And to me, I like this because it does establish Granolah and his power. But again, I kind of don't like how it happened or some of the things they added to it. So Vegeta steps in, and he tells him that I'm going to basically finish you off. Now, look, I'm just going to be 100% honest. If Granolah was able to take out Silver-Haired UI Goku, I'm sorry, but Vegeta just doesn't stand a chance. Now, maybe Vegeta has something up his sleeve. We'll see. I mean, I've seen some people theorize that maybe he's going to use the Hakai to destroy his right eye, the one that gives him his accuracy. But personally, I don't see how that's going to happen. I don't think Granolah is just going to give him the chance. But anyway, I guess we'll have to see what happens when the next chapter eventually shows up. But anyway, guys, I'm just going to end this video right here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, if you like my review, please consider clicking the like button. It'll really help out the video with the algorithm. Consider subscribing to my channels if you want more reviews, and also click on the bell icon to let you know whenever I post a brand new video. That is all I have to say for you guys. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you when the next chapter comes out next month. Bye for now.